Alright everyone, welcome back to our return to Borderlands playthrough. Now, it's been a minute since I've played the game actually. I know I kind of put out the other part of the final part of the Handsome Jackpot, completing that, but that was actually filmed a while ago. If you can tell by kind of the dialogue. But now I'm finally here playing the game and obviously jumping into DLC 2. But I figured I went and did some more stuff. I leveled up more of my Vault card, or not Vault card, Guardian rank, but now you can see we're level 72, so we cleared out all of our, or I guess we upgraded everything. We sold off all of our stuff, cleared out our inventory, changed up our build. Pretty much, like I said, a little bit of blue tree, most of green or red tree here. Pretty much getting down to Megavore, power inside, getting all the big skills. Maxing those out, nothing in purple tree because it's not very good. But yeah, I'm still using the spider ant with fade away and all the other skills to help make it better. Our build, pretty much I've been doing some farming. You can see I don't have too much crazy stuff. Let me throw that back on. See, I only got a couple old things here. There's 72. I went and farmed the stack bot or the scrap bots for a little bit, the clap traps for a little bit. Got that. Still have our free radical because I might as well hold on to it. Got this barrage from the last part. We still have we got a hellfire. I went and did the well, I went and did that one mission to get the head explosion from King Bobo, so I went and completed that. I also killed the Jabber Mogwai. I got one of the Hellfire just to have it. Still got our Fabricator. Our Rico, it's a little underleveled, but we're not really going to use it no more. We also got this messy breakup because I went and did that one mission over there in the Meridian, outskirts. And then I still have this other stuff. I think I got another stack buff, but not very good passives. I mean, it has Jacob's weapon damage and sniper rifle damage, which is really good for our head explosion. Everything else is pretty much the same. We have no pew pew. We went and did a Joey, got a boomer from that too. Still have our Hornet, but we're not. I guess we'll just hold on to it for now because we don't have anything really crazy to hold on to. But yeah, now we're here. We're obviously jumping into DLC 2, so we might as well go in it. Would you look at the? I think he has a sitting animation, but he's not sitting in the chair. So little fun thing. So yeah, we're gonna obviously jump into this. So we get to go to Xylorgos now, which is probably one of my favorite of like the worlds, like the areas and like the enemy types. I know this, and I think it's one of the cooler areas in the game compared to like. I guess the jackpot's really cool because obviously you have like this kind of casino, like industrial futuristic place, kind of like what is it, Opportunity and like those types of areas in Borderlands 2 and even like a little of the pre-sequel, like those industrial factories. Well, this is kind of like more of like this kind of like I don't know, like old timey, like creepy, like town. Mixed with like that kind of like industrial abandoned stuff, and then obviously like the Iridians and like the cold and like the one area is like the weird forest that feels very. Yeah, they're gonna play the cutscene, but we'll let the cutscene play out, basically explaining what's going on and how this area works. I don't think we have anything else too crazy. I did upgrade all of my main stuff in the what's it called for the market, but I still have to do some more stuff with the bank, but I'll kind of say that for later. And then I went and bought some other stuff from some of the cosmetics. I didn't really check the what's it called Crazy Earl's machine to get some stuff, but we didn't really need anything. Whatever we have, we'll still get. We'll use whatever we have. But now we're gonna let the cutscene play.
Warmest greetings, Vault Hunter. As you know, I, Sir Hammerlock, am an adventurer. And they say that the ultimate adventure is love. And adventures are best enjoyed together, which is to say...
What Alistair's trying to spit out is that we're getting married. And we want you at our wedding party.
Wainwright and I have found the perfect venue. Small village, quite charming.
It's a frozen wasteland.
That's the charm. We can hunt ravenous beasts across the tundra.
I think I'd rather cozy up to a crackling fire with a nice whiskey.
Well, that is why we are staying at this charming lodge, so we can sample the hospitality of the locals.
Well, I saw a few of them sprouting tentacles, but as long as they keep them off my whiskey, we're gonna be fine.
How charming. Anyway, please do us the honor of joining us for a weekend of guns, love, and tentacles.
What more could the heart desire?
I didn't notice that tentacle in the back of the window they're kind of peeping through. It's kind of a little cool visual. 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames. We're running out of frames. But yeah, we're here. This is another really, like, this area just is really cool. Like the design, even seeing like the big, was it Githian or something? Yeah, the Githian, the big monster. Something very cool about it. And then obviously, oh, I forgot, we meet our favorite new returning Vault Hunter character, which I won't spoil it. But yeah, this is another cool area. think we'll probably, maybe once we get to the main hub world, we'll kind of save that. Because after that, we got to go to Cursehaven, the other like little main city I talked about. Or then we'll have to fight, basically basically set the game in motion of what happened to Wainwright. Yeah, we got these, I can think like the Wolven goats. Or yeah, the Wolven guards, or the Wolvens. These like skag kind of wolf enemies. Kind of cool for like a little new enemy type. But they have like their different little variants. You also have the cartel on, but I think I forgot to pick up the other cartel mission to redo to go back with Joey again. But I think we'll just leave it for now because the cartel enemies. I mean, they guess to go spawn the bosses. I don't know, some of the raid boss or like the mini bosses, so we can maybe get something from that again as we go through. But I think we're gonna obviously meet our kind of wedding planner character. If you guys know, you know. But I think she should spawn in. You can see Githia, and he's pretty cool looking, like for like the design of like having this like big giant thing in the background. Someone's a little crash landing on. I wonder what that could be. Yeah, we also got this hedge blower. This hedge blower is really good. It's one of the better of like the base game Jacob's sniper rifles. But the only problem is you can only get it from, pardon me, King Bobo, because he's kind of, I guess, in that mission's obviously, if you don't do it, then if it's like, oh, it's off the beaten path, so if you don't do it, then you might not even realize you have to do it, because you can't really farm it from any of like the world sources. Kind of like it's like kind of like the Monocle, which is like the other, like, I guess, big game, like main game Jacob Sniper. But this is obviously a lot better. It wasn't always good, but they obviously buffed it. But here it's gonna pretty much instant kill. We're hitting already over 1 million damage, sometimes 2 million if we stack all of our perks up. Yeah, you can see 2 million right there. It's one of the better sniper rifles. It's kind of one of my like little, I guess, Borderlands goal is to get the perfect max damage version of one from Mayhem 72 Mayhem 10. I think it's over over 1 million damage you can get, because right now it's what 41,000. I think you can get over 1 million, but I've only seen like I think the most is like 91 or 81, something like that. Like those kind of like lower level like base rig ones that you always get. But I know you can get over 1 million. I think you can, or I think it's over 1 million. Is like the max one you want to get, but I haven't seen it. I'm still trying to get it. Maybe we'll get it here, but we obviously have to get the Mayhem 10 to get that version, or be on Mayhem 11. But maybe we'll do it later. But now we obviously meet our returning character Gage, her in Death Trap. She's gonna be our kind of main, like, I guess, like a escort to the game. It'd be pretty cool. I always liked Gage's character, but I mean, like I said, she was kind of like poorly. I guess she wasn't like the most well optimized or well designed character. She had a lot of like issues in Borderlands 2, because Anarchy was really cool, but like I said, it just took too long to stack, and she didn't have a lot of like main damaging sources outside of like maybe like some buffs to Death Trap and some other like little things. But I don't know. She wasn't like my favorite character. I mean, because like I guess Krieg was a little bit more powerful, but even then Krieg was he kind of played more into like being unpredictable and like having really high damage, but also having like a lot of like you could basically kill yourself and basically you constantly hurt yourself. So you kind of had to like risk reward with Krieg, but with her it's just kind of like, like you obviously needed Anarchy to really do anything, and her like shock / like elemental stuff wasn't very good, especially because of scaling. I know you can do like some crazy stuff with her. She can be powerful, but she wasn't like she wasn't like that very good. But in this, she's kind of just here as like a fun little reference, and she has some little goofy little lines she says. But basically, she's telling us that she's like basically took the job of being the wedding planner for Wainwright and Hammerlock here.
And I am prepared to party down or up. I can party in any given direction.
I got Death Trap here, which is like the first like big companion thing. He paved the way for, I guess, for this character, for us to have our little spider friend with us, or have a companion character that's like not always with you, but like does the main damage. It's kind of like a more powerful version of like Action's Church. But then obviously you had like Wilhelm's like drones, but the Wilhelm drones were a little bit more powerful because you had like the 2 of them, and one of them obviously was like the healing one that couldn't die really, and the other one was more of like a damage one, because they were flying drones and really small. Like the enemy AI couldn't really kill them unless they like had like really powerful like splash or AOE attacks. I remember there was like a build like where you could like stack up Death Trap's damage, and I think in certain areas you could go and Death Trap would like kill a bunch of like racks, when he would basically be able to stack up his damage, and he would like insta kill a lot of enemies. There's also like a lot of glitches with like Gage, and like I think it was the one skill where he revives your shield, or like he heals your shield like quickly, and you can like stack it to where you can give yourself like infinite shield regen. You can basically become like stay alive forever, you know, because that's kind of one of the things about Borderlands 2. There's so many like little glitches and bugs that like I guess were never patched out, and they kind of, especially if you play like the older versions of the game. Like if you have like the old PC version, like it's not the Anthem collection. If you like play on console, which is like the new version, you want to play on like next gen. There's still, but even in that, there's still like a bunch of bugs and like glitches that you can exploit. You can have that kind of give you like a little thing where, you know, I remember watching all those videos or seeing people kind of figure out how to do this or how to like stack a bunch of damage, or you know, some of the old like glitches, like it was like the Evil Smasher glitch where you could like stack a bunch of damage with a certain gun, the Evil Smasher, and you can like just do a bunch of damage. And then there's a bunch of other stuff too that you could do. Yeah. But here we're still here in Zylorgos. I think I guess they haven't really talked about much, but as of recording this, it's obviously much later into the year, and you know we're still waiting for High Guard to come out, but who knows if that'll ever come out. And then obviously we've seen I guess more stuff like I think Xbox had their little showcase recently as of recording this, where they showed off some of their like new games from some of their studios. I think they had I didn't watch all of it. I seen like some of the later stuff and some of those reveals where they had like the new Forza game, which I'm not a big fan of Forza or the racing games. They had that one game where it's like I guess it's like a kind of like action adventure exploring platformer, you know, like Souls-like game, you know, made by Game Freak, which is like I think Game Freak's the company that makes like a Pokemon, or they have like they make the games, or they have like a relationship with Pokemon or Nintendo, or however the legal like ownership is, or the who's responsible for what. And then they had the one game from Double Fine where they made like a little pottery like beat 'em up like party game where you play with your friends. And like that little battle royale-esque game. And then obviously the big one was Fable, which, you know, I guess I didn't really play Fable. I think the only Fable I really remember was Fable 3. I remember my cousin, he had it, and we would play it and kind of mess around, and you would do all like the little stuff, like going around, like talking to the NPCs, and like going and like seeing all the funny little stuff. Because, you know, that was like the first like kind of more like goofy over the top game. That was kind of like that like kind of like adventure role-playing game that I'm sure a lot of people got introduced to. I haven't played it in another. Oh, I guess I haven't played it in a long time. I tried to like play it like again because I know it's on like Game Pass. You can like play it, like try and play it again. But I never really got back into it. I really kind of like try to remember the story or all of the intricacies of it. But now that they're, you know, finally making I guess an indirect sequel or the next like I guess a soft reboot of it, whatever you want to call it, because I think it's a different studio making it now. Like, it's not the same company or the same people, or maybe it is, but you know, like that. I forget what the company was called, but they obviously went out of business. Now you have like a new studio coming in and making it, but you know, because I remember they always showed it off and people didn't like it. They didn't like the way the character, the main like your main protagonist looked like. They didn't really like some of the CGI. You didn't really know what was going on, and then obviously got delayed so much to the point where everyone was kind of like, okay, is this even coming out? You know, is this even really a thing? You know, but I think seeing it now, it does look better. I don't know if it's something for me. I know some people are gonna like it, some people are still gonna hate it because, you know, it's Microsoft, and no one likes Microsoft, and no one likes modern games because, you know, that's just how it is. You know, it looks too much like, was it the Avowed? It looks too much like, I don't know, Concord. It looks too much like Dragon, the Veilguard, or some other games. You know, it's kind of like copied like this certain games that can't come out, kind of like God of War, with like the more fantasy, you know, the combat, like the open worldness that's kind of become like the standard within the last like I guess decade at this point now, because, you know, we're already at that point where, you know, of like this new genre of game has now become the default, where anything really new that they add is like, is it gonna really wow a lot of people? Maybe some people, especially if you are like a hardcore fan of like the Fable series, but, you know, who knows? Because I think it will probably do well, it'll sell well. I think it will have appeal. Like, people will play it, but it's because, you know, the problem with those, a lot of these like single player kind of like generic, like more like big lengthy RPG games is that they obviously have, like, they'll sell well, they'll be popular, but after a couple of weeks, people move away and stop talking about it. And if there's no like consistent updates or content for people, just like, okay, who cares? You know, I'm gonna play the next, you know, whatever the new expansion is for my favorite free to play, you know, hero shooter slash like, I don't know, extraction shooter, because, you know, that's kind of what people gravitate to, or they're gonna wait for another big next gen game, you know, it's coming out, because, you know, it's supposed to come out in fall, which is like I think like September, October, like, you know, maybe August at the earliest. But then obviously you have like GTA, which who knows if GTA is going to come out, and then maybe any of the other like new like next gen big games that are coming out, or any of the other expansions that some of the other free to play games may have, will pull a lot of people away and kind of like take it out of the mainstream, and people will be like, oh yeah, I played Fable, I beat it, and now I'm done with it, and I move on to the next game, because that's just kind of how the genre is, where certain games are just like that, where there's so much hype for it, you're building up. People look at it, oh, that's actually really cool, it looks exciting, but then they're like, okay, I played it, I beat it, there's nothing new for me to do. I'm not really gonna go back and make a new character, or maybe go down a different path where this one I'm evil, this one I'm good, this one maybe I'm more neutral, this one maybe I play as the male character, or I play as the female character, or I do choose this pathway or side with this character. Do more of like the kind of dialogue, like options that they have, or like the I guess like the Telltale-esque of like choose your own venture, pick this path, go down that path, choose to be this type of like play this kind of role, play that kind of role. I don't think most people are going to do it. Like some people will, obviously, if you're like really into those type of games. But I guess like the new generation or the new people are just not really into them. Like a lot of things, the gaming genre, like people just constantly are moving from new game to new game, or they kind of, like I said, they kind of put themselves onto their favorite free-to-play game. Like they're more worried about like what's the next update for Fortnite or Call of Duty or any of the other or Moral Rivals or any of the other like hero shooters that I talked about. That's kind of just the issue. But I don't know. The game won't be bad. I don't see what's going to be like horrible. But the only thing that could really hurt it is probably just having a really bad story or performance issues being a big one, because that's like a big thing where every game kind of comes out buggy or unoptimized because of like Unreal Engine 5 or like the other engines that are where like the game is like it's like only 30 frames, or the cutscenes aren't optimized properly, or it's only 60, and you want to play on like high frame rates or high gen and have all that stuff too, where like it just ruins the experience for some people. Yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see. I think was there something else? I think they showed off. I don't remember. They only showed off a couple games, but who knows? Like the other big thing was they showed off. I think I talked about this on the other one, another part. The Resident Evil Requiem showing off Leon, showing off Grace, which is probably like my next big game I'm actually interested in, or would probably maybe go out and buy, because I'm trying to be more frugal with spending money in games or on like next gen games, especially if I'm gonna pay full price or buy any of like the ultimate versions of the game. But I'll wait and see, because I didn't play a lot of. I was kind of skeptical about playing the was it like the Resident Evil 2, 3, and even 4 remakes, or buying those or playing. I did play them because I think they're on like Game Pass now, but I just tried them out just to see them, because I obviously never really played like the really old versions or like those kind of old versions of games, and to have like a next gen version or updated version of those games is like, it's good to have. And I guess I never really played them. Same with Resident Evil 4, but I've seen a lot of like clips and gameplay. But now we're into the cutscene with our good friend Mancubus. And then we get Wayne. Oh, Claptrap. He still got his what's it called, hat on. They just kind of teleported him in. Because usually you give him the regular antenna, so it kind of looks a little goofy with that. And we got Mancubus. The game, like, I guess the game never says this, but about like Mancubus, there's like a little in-lore where he's more powerful than like what he really is. And the Lodge is more like has kind of like that like ethereal like cosmic horror-esque to it, of it being more bigger than just some guy like who runs like a sketchy place. Ooh, we got a paper focus. I think I'll take that. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I think he's actually voiced by some YouTuber guy. Well, I guess a lot of the Borderlands are voiced by YouTubers. But if you know, was Aaron Hansen, Aaron's Hands All Over My Penis Game Grumps, he voices Mancubus, I think, which is a little fun little thing. But yeah, speaking of like Resident Evil or Requiem, I am kind of excited to see what that looks like. I know they put out like the little clip of selling those watches, or they're like the insert the Prada, or not Prada, the Porsche like promotion where like Leon literally pulls up in the Porsche, like he pulls up in like a $100,000 car to go and kill some zombies or save like the day and go and do this mystery, and then he got like $1,000 watch on, and I guess so does Grace, because it's kind of like they're like selling those two like watches, like I forget what the brand is. I think it's like Hamilton, I think it's called, or something like that, where they're making like $1,000 watch, and they're like releasing it as like a special limited edition thing, which is like, I don't know, it's just kind of a goofy little thing to think about, because selling. Because a lot of games have those where you have like the brand thing. I think like in Fortnite, I think Overwatch and maybe Call of Duty, they kind of do that, where they have like cars, you can like drive around in like, I don't know, like a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, or one of like like a Mercedes Benz, or any of those things, or like a Mustang, or any of those, or like a Charger, any of those types of cars. But like I said, they're not very. It's just more of like a weird like thing that you wouldn't really think about for a game, because like who came up with two, because like you would think like, no, casual gamer is gonna be like, I'm gonna spend $1,000 to buy, the Leon Kennedy watch, or go and like, I guess it's only the watches. You can't or buy a Porsche, or care that Porsche. There's a Porsche in like your Resident Evil game, or that one that Leon does, because there's like maybe a cutscene or like we got a cosmetic. Yeah, they're basically talking, but yeah, we'll let them blabber. But who knows? I think it looks fun because it's kind of mixing the kind of over the top like hack and slash stuff like Resident Evil 4, where Leon's like chopping people up and like knocking people down and washing their heads. That little scene of him like pulling out his like hatchet and pulling out like the whetstone and like sharpening it. It's just like a little funny little thing to see, because you wouldn't see that in Resident Evil. It's like one thing to pull out like for like Leon, or like not Leon, Ethan in Resident Evil like 7 or 8 to like pull out like the goop juice, or pull out his like little healing vial, like pour it on his hand while he's like fighting like these like literal like wolf demon guys, or these like ghoul creatures in like the dungeon of the castle, or anything else, or those like robot zombie dudes. There's something goofy about it, and then seeing Leon doing that is like another extra goofy thing to do. So we don't have to do the balloons. I think we do it, but we only have to put a couple. But yeah, we'll do this. I guess we'll maybe take a break here before we go to Wainwright to go talk to Wainwright. So yeah, we just got to put a couple, and then Wainwright's going to call us and tell us to come help meet him. Yeah, I think we'll just do that.
Vault Hunter, I have a favor to ask.
Yeah, he's going to tell us to leave.
And don't tell Alistair where you're going. Just make up an excuse.
So you're not going to light up or give it a excuse to.
That tale sounds invigorating. But
Anything else in here? I know just nothing else. Well, I guess we're not really. I guess we're at that point where we're not really worried about anything below, I guess, legendary now, because we are max level and we want to get the best gear. Oh yeah, there's also this quest to do. If you pet this little Creech guy, he gives you a bunch of stuff. Yeah, if you pet Make You Bite. I think that's actually, yeah, Make You Bite. He pet him a bunch. He gets the little doll pistol, the kaleidoscope, because it has like the little doll Kids Bop skin, which is a little fun little thing. I don't know. I don't think it's very good. I think it's like more just like a fun novelty weapon. But I think you gotta like take care of, like pet him a bunch, and you have to like do it in a row. But yeah, like pet him a bunch. I guess we'll do like the 10. Maybe we'll come back and get another one as we progress through the story. We'll just take our sweet time. It's kind of finicky because you obviously have to wait for the animation for it to count. There we go. We got one iridium for that. I'm gonna talk to this goofball. You got the little voice box in this thing. Because I think in the Krieg DLC, I think Maya references the lodge, and I think also references the lodge, like how she like was somewhere. I forget where she was, but she was like on a different planet, and she got like lost or like got like trapped or something, and then she ended up in the lodge, or the lodge kind of like spawned in here, and she referenced like the lodge, and obviously the Incubus being like this creepy guy. Cause it's never, I guess he's supposed to be like beyond like the story, or he has like some other like motive. He's not just some creepy guy that like was like, cursed by the town. He obviously knows more than he's letting on. There's also this mission with this chick too, where we can get I think if you go and do her mission, you get another like Malawan's SMG. I forget what it's called, but it's like pretty powerful actually. But I think it's like, what is it called? The something force, like the FS or FST, something like it's like letter force. But basically it's like a Malawan's SMG that like can switch elements, and it basically shoots like music notes, or like has like a little visual thing. But I don't know if they fixed it, but I remember it couldn't like when you can only they only applied the buff only applied to the main base element. So if you had like a fire shock one, the shock damage would be really underpowered, and the fire would obviously be like what it needed to be or on card to be worth the damage. But it was like a fun little like thing, because if you like get one, you're like, oh, I want a fire and shock one, but then you're like, oh, the shock damage isn't really good, so now I gotta get a shock one, and then I got a shock one with maybe corrosive, and then I was like, well, I can't use corrosive, I can only use the shock and fire. So now I had to have 3 guns with elements. Yeah. Alright, I guess we'll go meet. Do we want to do the Wainwright stuff? I guess we'll talk. I guess we'll go find Wainwright. Maybe we'll. I don't know. I guess we'll do Wainwright, because we have to obviously go through the town and talk to people. But yeah, I think we'll just go speed through this, because then we have to go do the cutscene with Wainwright. Obviously, we have to go and fight the cultists.
I'm just outside the wedding venue
Yeah, now we gotta go talk to all the NPCs. I guess we don't need to, but we can. Oh yeah, I think we have to come over here. Yeah, I think there's a chest, or there's one of the, because one of the other like hidden collectibles or the crew challenges is getting the presents from or the, no, there's also this too. We gotta do. Gotta knock on the doors for in the house, and they give you like a little funny joke. I think, is it over here? Or no, it's just, I think it's just that then. I forget where it is, but there's maybe it's one of the other areas once you like complete the main like kind of starting point story, because you can talk to all these NPCs. But we don't really want to talk to them. We're kind of skipping for now, because I'm sure if you play this game, you've heard all their little references. But now we just gotta go over here. They don't really say anything crazy, and I've heard it a dozen times. So sometimes I'll play them and just listen to them, because why not? But you can see like they all have like they're all like cursed and forced to like live in like a struggle or have something. Oh, here it is. This is where the present is. Where basically they're cursed, and you have to like, they all have like their own like little thing that keeps them from oh no, where's it at? It's over there. Oh, it's up there. I forgot what it is. Where is it at? Oh, he's talking about Incubus.
Only has one cure, of which I am already very aware. But you haven't the skill to remove a toad force. Let alone remove the curses of these fine, blighted souls.
Alright, let's grab this real quick while he's blabbing.
Take their coppers regardless. Nonsense! What do you know?
See, I made these little presents. These little Cthulhu.
Come
Sadly, I think it's gonna cut off. Or no, Gage is. It's gonna cut off Gage, because usually she gives like a little quip where she talks about the presents.
Go about your day.
Yeah, he touched him, and he can't. You're not supposed to touch him because he died. Alright, now we're gonna come over here and talk to Wainwright. This is like the main, like final area is going into the big mansion. Well, obviously we can't because it's locked down.
Vault Hunter, not a moment too soon. As nervous as the last hog in the slaughterhouse. The venue's just gotta be perfect for Alistair. That ginger dynamo of a wedding planner showed me the brochure, but I need to see it for myself.
Alright, now we gotta. I think we just gotta follow him, or he's gonna start talking. Oh no, we can't. You have to. He's gonna do his little. Where he has to like. He can't get in, so we have to go around.
Hell's bells, the gate's locked.
I think there's another gate or door we can knock on. Yeah, there it is. You can see it because they're kind of glowing and green. Pardon me. Yeah, so he's gonna basically ask us what we're most scared of. Oh, yeah, he's gonna ask it.
Fear is a human flaw. I am incapable of such. Oh, you know what? Tapioca. That texture.
There you go.
Well, I can't argue.
Maybe that's a bit of a reference to the voice actor. He doesn't like tapioca, because why would a robot not like tapioca? Or be able to even really understand it or eat it? You gotta come here. Where is it at? I think, down here there's like a gateway where it's gonna open up. Right there. You can see how many times I played this DLC compared to like some of the other ones. This is one of the better. Obviously, this is one of the better ones to do because we can get a lot of really good guns, especially the Clairvoyance, which is like I think the main gun we want to get. But the Clairvoyance is another like really annoying one. It's like one of those other things too to get a maximum its best version of the Clairvoyance. Because it's even though it's like an easy killing was it Critchy, I think it's called, like the big top hat enemy. I forget, like, is it Creech or Cratch? Basically the big giant monster thing. The big flying squid creatures that kind of look like Squidward. We're gonna see them up here and close. Because then you have those little like turtle things. The little turtle, like they kind of do like the little elemental thing.
We ain't breaking anything. We're just entering. And I already paid our deposit, so I like to see them keep me out. You are slower than sloth molasses.
What? I'm ahead of you.
Early Jacob's business venture didn't pan out.
Alright, let's see what we have here. Yeah, we gotta kill a bunch of enemies now. So once we gotta wait for a rain rate to come. I think he also gives us a gun. I forgot. He gives us the I forget what it's called, but he gives us like a Jacob shotgun. But I guess we'll get that in the next part or after we beat after what happens to Wainwright. Are you gonna talk to me or gonna wait for him? He's kind of slow. All right, now we get these little things. They're not too difficult. These guys are not as bad as the little flying creatures. The little baby ones, the little naked ones.
Run, you weakling!
You know, they're really cool enemies. I mean, like I said, like because obviously I guess the other games don't have too many unique enemies because like DLC like one obviously introduced like the what's it called, like the loaders and like some of the new like I guess loader enemies and like the surveyors been coming back, and some of the, I guess some of like the new enemy like skins for like the bandits and the Goliaths and all that. But then obviously you have like these guys, which are like a new enemy type, like these little flying guys, and then obviously the Cratch, or the, I guess these guys, not Cratches, Creations or Crichions. And then obviously the cultist enemies with their like tentacle abilities and the little like mini versions, the Scritories I think they're called. And then obviously like DLC 3 doesn't really have anything new because DLC 3 like just uses like the bandit, and I guess they have like unique skin bandit enemies with like the cowboy aesthetic, and then you obviously have a bunch of I guess new versions of the like what's it, the Saurians, or like the Saurian enemy, like the dinosaur enemies from Eden 6. Because I guess like DLC 3 of those, like Gehenna is supposed to be like a extension of like the Eden 6 and like the Jacob's branding. Which we'll talk about that I guess later about that kind of area. But then this is like, but that was and then DLC 4 is like all just bandits and COV. But they obviously brought back like the, I guess, variation of the like the Borderlands 2 bandits, like the mercenaries and like the marauders, or not mercenaries, what are they called? I forget what I can't. The nomads, that's what they're called. The big nomads and like the little mini psychos and that kind of stuff. In that little one area, but the rest of it's just like basic enemies, like the what was it, Varkids and Guardians. Something's going on here. I don't know what they're chanting. Alright, we gotta wait for him. He takes his sweet time. And then also gotta wait for the dialogue to talk. I think he has to like come and open this up for us. I think we do.
Our worldly troubles shall break like waves upon the rocks.
Hopefully nothing bad happens to the Wainwright, or you don't get attacked by some evil cultist. Well, that would suck. But like I said, this is another like a cool thing because I guess this kind of doesn't really fit into the Borderlands. I guess the kind of the zombies. What the zombies was kind of more of like an alternate what if scenario where like you would have. I guess zombies could exist in Borderlands. You know, like having if cycles are like these mutated people who are like affected by like radiation or like biological chemical weapons, and like just being on Pandora and being exposed to like iridium and like the rare like the iridium, you would think that like they would turn into like monsters or zombies would be possible. But I guess these cultists are kind of implied to have like even more like ethereal power, like similar to like I guess like the Iridians, like kind of like what sirens are. Because I guess sirens are kind of like this game's like magic, I guess you would call it, having powers, being able to like move, teleport, create like elements, like burn stuff, like destroy stuff. That kind of idea.
Githyan feeds and our bond is renewed.
Yeah, these guys look cool. This is like I think one of the only times. I guess there's another part where you can like see the guys up close. I think this guy's a double agent. He's showing he's a little bit glowing. His marks on him. He's a cartel asset. I guess it's kind of weird. You would think like these. I guess because the game. I guess it's never implied. But why would like these like cultists who are like devoted to like the heartbeat like in cahoots with like a iridium like drug smuggling mafia cartel? I guess they are, because I guess that's never implied. So are the robots, and so are little like monsters too. Or I guess like the Skags and like the creature too, or the Creations or too. These guys aren't too difficult. They have these really goofy names. Why can't they just call them like cultist or like evil guy? They got these weird like met names. The Melchers or Malchers, Malchars or Melchers. Not sure how to even say that. I guess I never really looked at their names because they have such weird names. You never like say it out loud. Same like these guys. These guys have like the weird name too with the shields. But here they're just called cartels. And then there's this other guy. I think we're gonna fight out Vincent, or I guess a version of Vincent. I think we also get a unique too. Which is basically like a weird, like an alternate version of the what's it called? The Rough Rider.
The worms have teeth after all.
You're right, my love. And we haven't had any fun in so very long.
And I'm gonna fight Vincent.
Perhaps this spin vessel still has some spin it
Going night.
Shall we play then, worms?
I don't think he's gonna be too difficult, but he's got a bunch of health.
Break you over my knee, you pale willow.
Pardon me. Trying to chuck some meat. He shouldn't be too difficult, as long as our spider and the shred, he's gonna kind of whittle down his health. That's right. I guess, well, not this. I guess we'll use a boomer. Oh, that boomer's really good. I forgot. So we managed to kill him. And then it's revealed, obviously you get the reveal that it's not actually like some Vincent, it's actually just a normal guy who's been like, I guess, turned into Vincent, or like is a host basically for this parasitic relationship. Don't touch it, Wainwright, don't touch it. He picked it up. That's not good. Hopefully nothing bad happens.
Never seen anything.
Oh well.
New vessel. Yes, you'll do nicely.
And then we get to meet our main villain of the game, Eleanor. She's kind of cool, but she's not too crazy. You see our drone floating around there. She's another villain, but obviously she's like, I guess we kind of learn more about her, Vincent. She kind of gives off like, is it Agatha, Agatha vibe? I guess this came out kind of before that. She's kind of like this evil, like witch, sorceress, enchantress lady.
Oh, but he's already mine.
Hopefully. Right now we got a. Oh wait, I don't want to make sure we picked up the. Yeah, we got the. Was it the initiative? I guess it's only 1-0 capacity, 0 stats. Like I said, it's like another version of the Rough Rider, which I'm not sure. I guess what the idea is, because I guess I mainly looked at it. Or I guess what's the? Because I guess increase the weapon damage and reduce incoming damage. Only 13%, but it gives us health. I guess 13. Well, I guess 13% in the grand scheme of things doesn't really add up, especially at like higher levels. Unless you have like really good health regen, you can like kind of maybe negate it. But I guess most characters don't really have that much good health regen. Maybe like Zane or maybe Amara. We have these cool like loot chests. Sometimes you get the loot scriptory that spawns out. It spits out a bunch of loot. And we also got this other cool chest, these like tentacle chests, and another door to knock. Make sure you pick up everything. Should have wait, because I think we had to obviously wait until we get to the one area and then do some basic mobbing. And now we come back in the main like town hall area, but everyone's obviously cleared out because not the cartel, the cultists basically take it over. We got this boomer. This boomer's actually really good. But, I mean, it's probably gonna really help us too. Then we got these other big guys too. These guys are really cool too. Is it Kalia Volk or Valk? Like I said, they got these goofy names. I don't know who comes up with the names, but you think you just call them out like monster or like beast or like I don't know. I guess Leviathan or something else too, or like I guess I can't really think of anything. I guess like who comes up with? I guess like maybe there's some kind of like lore or some like reference that I'm not getting. Like why would they call those? We call that or maybe what they're implying. So I know like this is obviously based off of like Lovecraft or like H.P. Lovecraft and those types of stories, and all the monsters and all the characters or like all like the otherworldly things have like these very like abstract like complex names that are like, oh, it means this, it means that. You know, it means eater of death or destroyer of worlds or consumer of souls or devourer of flesh and love and the god of so and so. You know, that kind of like whole foundation. Anything over here? Oh, another door to knock on. There should be a chest, and there's just some stuff to click on. We have these toilets too. The tentacle that comes up and wipes your butt for you. But we should be almost done. Yeah, they're already at the halfway point. I think after this we'll probably take a break because then obviously we have to go and find I think was it Bert is the next big thing because he's basically going to take us to the what's it called, to the archives, and then we can obviously that's basically when the kind of the DLC more opens up. Yeah, I think that this is probably where we'll wrap it up after this.
Okay, that got wild.
Check this really quick. I guess more melee damage because why not?
You're a
Just gotta
little
keep leveling up
off plan,
everything.
but I think we can smooth things out from here. But
Maybe pet him a couple times. Come on.
Cage, what? My word, Winnie!
Get out of my...
Vault Hunter, what in the devil happened to Wainwright?
Rogue cultists at the venue attacked us, but we fought them off. Wainwright is safe.
Thank heavens you were there. Look, he's coming around. Winnie, are you all right?
The heart still beats.
Winnie, wake up!
Oh, Vault Hunter, there you are. I must have dozed off for a moment. Must have been the whiskey. Here, take my shotgun.
Yeah, he gives us another gun now. I forget what it's called. I guess we'll take it.
Well, I suppose that's
I don't think
one
it's
way
too
to
powerful,
start.
but I guess if you get it early on, like I said, early on, you probably could use it as like another like help per run. Right now, I think it will probably be fine because we're still on like Mayhem 1, and Mayhem 1's like a pushover, even with our really good gear. And then like what's his face is going to talk to us, and then we obviously have the statues too. That's like another like side stuff we can go and find and collect those too. But what do we get? I think I forget what it's called. Oh, the cure. It's not too powerful. I mean, compared to what we have, you might as well. We haven't really found a good shot. I guess I was going to probably go farm like a Garcia or one of the other, like, or maybe a Hellwalker just to have it. But we got this too. This should be all right too. Basically one of those pretty powerful, but it's only a 2-shot. All right, we'll save Mankey bits for later, but we're probably gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, this is first part of DLC 2. Hopefully we can get it out sooner than later for like unlike DLC 1 where I kind of took a long break for parting out the final part. Hopefully I'll have another part out sooner than later, but who knows? You know, everything's unpredictable with me. But yeah, that's going to be it for this part. Be sure to like the part. Be sure to like the video. Check out all the other parts. Check out the Isaac parts. I think I had as a recorder, there's another Isaac video I just put out, so check that out. And yeah, and that's going to be it. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.